Welcome. Welcome to this video. Welcome. Welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about where and let. Where and let both the keywords are used for the declaring the variables. Variables that can store or that can store your data. It basically is the container. But what's the difference between both of them? So for this, I'm just going to the again my console section here, and on this behalf of that, I'm just going to show one value. Okay, so where and let. Where is basically have a global scope in your project. Suppose if you declare the variable, then that will be as a where, that will be totally accessible from the outside. But in the case that is declared in the scope of that particular global scope, may be your particular that where have a global scope, and variables belong to the global scope and where you define the outside of function. But if you define the where inside function that have accessibility within the that function. Let let is basically have a scope that is in your either function scope, your loop scope, your conditional scope. Outside of this, not accessible. So this is a basic example where is old method for declaring variable, and let is a new method introduced in the ES6, that is ESML 2015. So let's check the well the so let's check the difference between them by the practically. I'm going to start her tutorial for okay. Yes, this for where I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 5, and I plus plus. So this is my the for loop scope, and this loop is started with the 0 and till the running with less than equal to less than 5. So loop will be run total for the 5, and the print a total 4 values console dot log, and here I'm value of I in loop. Okay, and that I is I have to print, so console dot log, and then my message within the double quoted string and with the following with comma, and I'm using I here. Okay, now after this loop again I'm going to start write to console.log value of I out of loop. So that is again this thing. If I run this code, what the output from 0 to 4, that is 5 times my loop will be iterated, and every time the value of I will be print. First time 0, second time 1, third time 2, fourth time 3, and fifth time the 5. But after the loop, in the last iteration, the mother a value of I is 5, which will be the printed in the outside of the loop. The value of I out of the loop is 5. So my variable declaration is out of the loop will be work. If I declare where I equal to in any function and then for loop and access that I after that function, that value will be not accessible outside the function because I declare the where within the function scope. But here is a global scope, and global scope I can call in the for loop scope and outside of scope also. But if we are working the same environment and using the for let, so let I equals to 0, again I is less than equal to 5, again I plus plus, and moving with this, and console dot log, and value of I in inner loop. Okay, that's fine. Value of I here, and console dot log value of I out of loop, and you can see here value of I and print, sorry, not index db, this one. So again my loop will be iterated the 5 times and print the value of I 5 times. That's 0 for the first time, 1 for second time, 2 for the third time, 4 for fifth, 4 for fifth, 4 and 4 for fifth time. The 4 times the loops will be iterated, but my value will be same as a 5. But according to that we have accessible in the within the scope, that is on the curly braces, we can't access this I outside of the loop. So that is the I is not defined at the line number something like this, and we got this error. So we can't access the let variable outside the scope. That outside of scope, not only the for loop, not only the, it will be the that scope, not only the for loop, it will also in the functions scope, class scope, and anything the where you have discussion on that. So this is the basic difference between where and I. Now, as I told that where is globally scope. So suppose take one more example here. Suppose I'm using creating one function, that name is function and name is change. Okay, and this is my scope, and again I'm using where I equal to 0 and console dot log value of I in function scope, and again the I value here. Okay, console dot log value of I out of function, that is, now after the print you can see that I is not defined. I is not defined because the console log, you visit the console log, you can see the where, as I told the where have a global scope, but now this in example where have a scope within the function. So I can't access this I outside of this because I declare and initialize the where I equal to 8 some or 0 in this. So if I put this the same code, and where is I equal to 0, then I can access this I outside of the function. So this is the basic difference between the where and let. Thanks for this video, and please like and subscribe. In the next video we will discuss about the data types in the JavaScript.